What's going on, everybody? It's the Bulls Show, aka Aidan, and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be discussing, and I'll finally be telling you guys my prediction on the Chicago Bulls upcoming season. Now, at the end of the day, a predictions video is basically an educated guess. You're looking at all aspects. You're looking at the Eastern Conference, you're looking at the teams below and above us, you're looking at the Chicago Bulls' current situation, you're looking at everything you possibly can and making an educated guess on where the Chicago Bulls could potentially finish this upcoming season. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Bulls Show. Turn notifications on and let me know in the comments below your thoughts and whether or not you agree or disagree with what I have to say. There were a few comments in my last video discussing where they think the Chicago Bulls will finish. If I have a different opinion to them, do you agree with them or do you agree, obviously, with what I have to say? Again, it's an opinion. It's basically just looking at everything, providing a guess, the best guess you possibly can, and see whether or not your guess plays out right. I got this right last year for the Chicago Bulls. I said we would finish between 4th and 6th in the Eastern Conference, and it looks like that's exactly where we finished. We finished 6th in the Eastern Conference. Granted, we were first for a long time, and we were second for a long time as well. I think a lot of people don't necessarily mention that. But we were around the top 2 for almost the entire season, but the massive drop-off in February and March led us all the way down to 6th, which will be for many people, a reminder that the Chicago Bulls got to put their foot on the gas the entire season, and no drop-off will be seen as acceptable, especially if you want to be in consideration for one of those teams that can compete for a championship. So we've got a lot to look at there. But first things first, in order to look at the Chicago Bulls and where they're going to finish, you have to look at other teams. Other teams are going to be very important. Other teams are going to play huge factors in how we shape our season as well. For example, in the last video, there was a comment saying that the Chicago Bulls are in the category for the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Atlanta Hawks. Basically saying the Bulls are too unpredictable to really know where they're going to finish. They assume we're going to be a mid-level team, but we could very much be in one of the best in the conversation for one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. We could be fighting for a play-in spot. I feel like a lot of people don't necessarily know where the Chicago Bulls, I guess, belonging is in the Eastern Conference. So they put us in that unpredictable category with the Atlanta Hawks, who made a very good signing or trade in DeJounte Murray, alongside of hopefully getting a healthy John Collins, and Cleveland, who traded Colin Sexton and Larry Marketing and a bunch of picks for Donovan Mitchell, who is an all-star level, one of the best shooting guards in the NBA level guy. So there's two teams there that we don't know how good they're going to be. Look, because at the end of the day, you can say Cleveland are going to be a great team, fighting for top 4, going and competing for championships. A lot of people can say that. But unfortunately for Cleveland right now, we don't know how Cleveland are going to play. We don't know if their partnership in the guard position will be too undersized. Will they have to make a change there? Will one of them come off the bench? At the end of the day, will it work? Will they have one of the best offensive teams in the NBA? Will they have 2 all-star level players fighting with each other, being the best guard combinations in the NBA? We don't know any of these questions. We don't know any of the answers to these questions as well. And Atlanta's the same. Atlanta 2 years ago made the playoffs, was one of the most talked about teams in the NBA playoffs, and then they did not make the playoffs in their next season. So what's this season going to look like for Atlanta? Again, they're unpredictable. And I said in that video, I don't think the Bulls are that unpredictable, but there are a couple of questions about our team as well. Same with the Brooklyn Nets. Another team we have to look at, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, 2 incredible players on the Brooklyn Nets. Now, are they fully committed to the Brooklyn Nets? Will they play 100% of their heart out for that organization to try and prove people wrong? Or has that love and passion for the Brooklyn Nets when they both came there alongside of James Harden kind of diminished away, knowing that Kevin Durant wanted a trade, knowing that Kyrie Irving was willing to leave the Brooklyn Nets this season? All things considered, can they really get along with the coaching staff and with the ownership of the Brooklyn Nets? That's a big question we don't know the answer to. But on paper, Kyrie and Kevin Durant are a team, and the team that they have, personally, are a force to be reckoned with. Miami, same thing goes with them. They were one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference last year, but they've lost a couple of players. Are they going to drop off from where they were to being one of the teams fighting for a play-in spot? We don't know. We can make educated guesses. We can make predictions. We can look based on last season and just assume that teams that were good last season will be good again this season. You can look at all of that if you like. But until we see them on the court, we don't know the answers to those questions. Which goes to my question now. What's my prediction on the Chicago Bulls? Where do I see the Chicago Bulls finishing? Well, I think the goal for the Chicago Bulls, as I've mentioned countless times, is to make the top 4, get home court advantage in the first round of the NBA playoffs, and win a playoff series. That's the goal for the Chicago Bulls. That's what they have to obtain. For many Bulls fans, at least me personally, I can't speak for everybody, but for me personally, for me to take the next big step and for me to fully believe in the core of this team, we have to win a playoff series 100%, and we should be doing well in the regular season with very little drop-off. As we've seen, we had an incredible first half of the season, even a little bit more than the first half of the season. But as soon as you drop off, it's going to be seen as unacceptable. And the Bulls have to find a way to not drop off. It's going to be up to them to see if they could do that. So top 4 and, in my opinion, also winning a playoff series. But that's the goals of the Chicago Bulls, in my opinion. That's what I think their goal should be. Does that mean I truly believe it can happen? Well, it's a little bit close. I think the Chicago Bulls, my prediction at least, is going to finish around the 4th or 5th seed. Because at the end of the day, there are too many unknowns around the situation. And until we can prove we could beat the better teams in the NBA, because we know we could beat the below average to mediocre teams in the NBA. But in terms of beating the best of the best Eastern Conference teams, we did not do it enough last season. And until we can prove that we can do that, we are going to probably finish around the same, in my opinion. I truly think that's where the Chicago Bulls are going to be. 4th or 5th in the Eastern Conference. But I'm fully convinced the Chicago Bulls can win a playoff series. At the end of the day, the drop-off for the Bulls for us to verse the former champions in Milwaukee Bucks, that was a huge drop-off. And if you're asking most Bulls fans, I guess, in the NBA, I don't think we're going to have that much or that badly of a drop-off this season compared to last year. Of course, anything can happen, but we're hoping that the COVID situation will not get out of hand like last year. We're hoping so many players are not out at different times with isolation and all of this nonsense. We're hoping that outside of Lonzo Ball, we're entering the season relatively healthy and everybody ready to go for the start of the year. And we're hoping we're not going to see too many injuries. All those are hopes and dreams for the Chicago Bulls. But if we see those things, the drop-off should not be anywhere near as bad. But until we see other teams play, I'm predicting us to get an upgrade over where we were last year. But I don't think I'm going to call us a top 3, top 2, or first in the Eastern Conference just yet. Because we've seen that we're just not at that level right now. Time will tell whether we could get to that level or not. But that's my personal prediction. I think we will finish around 4th or 5th in the Eastern Conference. If we finish 6th, I see that as stagnation. I don't see that as good enough. That's not my prediction. I think we're going to get a little bit of an upgrade this season. And I also feel that we will win a playoff series. At the end of the day, that's the learning curve. We need to learn how to win in the NBA playoffs. We also need to learn how we could get to home court advantage. And getting us one step closer to that will be very important. And I do think a competitive rivalry between the 4th and the 5th seed, whoever finishes there, if it's the Bulls and somebody else, that would be a very competitive series. And I want to see the Bulls get on top of that series as well. So time will tell, but that's my personal prediction on the Chicago Bulls. Let me know in the comments below what you think about the Bulls and where do you think they will finish. Are they a top 3 team? Are they a top 2 team? Are they a first in the Eastern Conference team? Are they going to be a mediocre team? Are they going to be a 6th level team like we were this year or the previous season? Or are we fighting for a play-in team? Or hell, are we out of the playoffs completely? Are we finishing 11th or 12th or 13th in the Eastern Conference? I hope if that's the case, then yeah, look, we might need some big changes. But I don't think many people will be saying that we're going to be an 11th in the Eastern Conference type team. Again, it's going to be up to the Bulls, in all honesty. I've said it every video, and it makes sense. We are going to have to see the Bulls prove to everybody how good they are. And we need that conversation again about whether or not the Bulls can be a title contending team or whether the Bulls are just a playoff team. If that's our level, we'll have to wait and see. But thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Again, just my opinion. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Have a wonderful and safe day. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned for more. Take care.